What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another week of live racing right here at Parks Racing. Out of the gate, we were not on last week, so we've got plenty of material to bring you here this morning into the afternoon. 11 races on the card, first post times at 12:25. Going to talk about a lot of exciting things on today's show. Thanks again for joining us. 3 days of racing, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with the first post time at 12:25. Let's get right into handicapping because we got a lot to cover here on this show, and I want to make sure we get under my allotted time. Race number 1, 1 mile and 70 yards is the distance here, going the 2 turns. Nice Pennsylvania bred shirt, by the way. But you take a look at my selections in here. I'm going to go with the 2 on top, Spicer's Gold. This horse has just got enough speed, has done well in the last 2 starts with 2 second-place finishes at the 7,500 hours or 2 lifetime level. It just seems like it's this horse's turn in this race, so we'll go with the number 2. 6 to 5 on the morning line might be a real short price in the opener. Race number 2 is a maiden $25,000 race. 6 furlongs being the distance. I like the 5 showing off. I'm going to have some bullet points and talk about that during the live show this afternoon. But when you take a look at this horse for Tyler Service, who's had a real fast start to the meet, barn is going very well with 5 starters and 2 wins. This looks like the type of spot where a first-time starter can win. I like Florida breds. I think that they show some early speed. You know, Pennsylvania breds obviously all throughout the backside here at Parks, and they're making their names known across the country. But these Florida breds, sometimes they show some speed. If they get out there in front, they can really take them a long way. Race number 3 as we get into 1 mile optional 16 race. And this is when you take a look at some of these runners, they're familiar with one another. There's no superfecta because there is going to be a scratch of the 3. Summer Velvet, 3-year-old filly by Dortmund. She ends up being the top pick. You get Jose Gomez, who's going to ship in here, and he's been riding in New York. Seems like he's picking up some mounts here at Parks. So we got a couple really good apprentice jockeys, and Andy Hernandez and now Jose Gomez is coming on the scene here on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So when you take a look at this 3rd race with that scratch, shorter field, the 5 might end up being a short price in that race, so we'll see what happens in today's 3rd. I'm going to have plenty more selections coming up, but we got a brand new thing that we're launching right here at Parks. That's right, you asked for it, and we are bringing it to you. So today, we are telling you all about what's coming up on YouTube from Parks. That's right, guys. We got a YouTube channel. It's launching next week, so look forward to that on February 7th. The YouTube channel with race replays that'll be on there. We've got all of our shows on Out of the Gate. We've got our features, Parks Fanatics, lots of interviews. So make sure you guys subscribe, get involved. Parks Racing, we got our YouTube channel launching on February 7th. 6.5 furlongs in race number 4. When you take a look at this sprint, the number 2, Luscious Lola. I settle here because the horse had won 3 races in 2021. A lot of the horses in here haven't won in quite some time. So it just seems like if this horse can progress off the claim for Ruperto Perez, that could possibly be your winner. And 6 to 1 in the morning line, I'll take it. See if we can catch a price. Race number 5, 6.5 furlongs. Another nice sprint race in here. Some competitive horses down to the inside. This horse is not going to be favored. I like the PA bred in here. I like Twisted Ride to the outside. I take a look at some of these horses down to the inside. Secret Alliance, going to be your favorite. Second time out for John Service. Yes, obviously that's a winning connection. But Twisted Ride, that 35-3 work really jumps off the page. It was a gate drill. It was on December 28th. I like the outside draw. Steady works coming into this. Kate DeMasi, your leading rider, Ruben Silvera. Number 8, Twisted Ride at a price. I like that one in race number 5. Race number 6 is 1 mile. Lula's Roadrunner. She just continues to go the right way. She's by Uptown Charlie Brown, a 5-year-old mare for Ron Dandy, who hasn't picked up a win yet this meet. But you take a look at this runner to the outside, and we're going to take a look at a replay as well. But Anthony Nunez launches a real wide rally. I mean, this horse had to tip far outside, out of rivals, is going to make up ground late, not quite run by Cartouche. Is there a little bit of a concern that she has a little second-itis? She just kind of likes to finish right behind the winner, obviously, in some of these races. You could say that, but when you go back to that October 20th race, she ends up winning by 8 3/4 lengths, comes back and runs 3rd, comes back and runs 2nd behind Billy Ann, Assume Control. Billy Ann, Assume Control, both came back to win their next start. So she's going in the right direction. She's found her level at this state bred allowance type. It just seems like Lula's Roadrunner is really well meant in this spot for Ron Dandy. talked about Lula's Roadrunner, and he talked about her and her progression and how he likes training the fillies and mares, and he feels like he does very well with those types. She seems like she's going in the right direction, and I think she's got a big shot. She's going to be another short price. We're on the chalk there in race number 6 with number 7, Lula's Roadrunner. Hey, we got a chance to catch up with trainer Mariah Montoya. We wanted to show the feature last week, but we had to cancel, so we have got that feature here this afternoon. So we got to spend some time in her barn and talk to her about how she grew up, how she got involved in racing. So here it is, our time where we got a chance to visit with trainer Mariah Montoya. Trainer Mariah Montoya has been at Parks her entire life. Her father, Dennis Heimer, was a top trainer at Parks for many years.
Oh, my dad was a leading trainer here for quite a few years. He died in '89. So I had started walking horses when I was like 7 years old. By the time I was 12, I was actually grooming horses in the summer and on the weekends, and actually running horses, which it's different now. I started galloping out in the field back there when I was 14. And when my dad died, I was just in my late 15 year. I went to the farm and did farm work for a little while with my stepmother because we had moved out there and we had raised Lily T.
Kentucky Derby stories can come from anywhere. Little E.T. became that story for Montoya and her family.
He was a horse that my dad had actually picked the nicking for, and then he had passed away. And the mare would be out there and she would leave this foal. And he would stand out there screaming for her, and she wouldn't answer. So we always said it was right about when the Lily T, the E.T. movie came, oh, Lily T for Lil Stable is phoning home. So he ended up naming the horse Lily T. He was a really hard horse to handle, and he was getting loose every day as a yearling from us. So right across the street was a farm called Josco Farm, which was one of my dad's major owners. So they had a bunch of stud horses over there, and so they brought these big guys over, and oh, we're going to show these girls how to handle this horse. Well, he continued to do the same thing, and he got loose every day until one day he got sick and was kept in the stall for a while, and he kind of changed his tune.
Lily T was a long shot in the 1992 Kentucky Derby, and he provided the thrill of a lifetime.
I actually went to the grandstand with some of my high school friends, and we all bet on him, which was neat. And, you know, I was able to say, you know, I raised that horse.
East Coast life has been Montoya's life, and as she grew up with racing, she chose to get into training.
I like being on the East Coast. I've been here my whole life, so it feels like home. I did do Ocala in the winters for a few years when we were first starting out. I actually started out, I bought 2 yearlings for $1,000 each off my dad's owner, went to Florida, broke them, and I brought them up, and those were my guinea pigs. And we got lucky, they both won. One maiden special weight and one for maiden 15. So I started out like that with my own, and then we had gotten on a streak where we won 7 in a row, and then I got a few owners.
Working with babies that can become champions is a trait that trainer Mariah Montoya continues to thrive with even to this day.
I do like the babies because you can kind of put your own mark on them. You know, they have no idea when they come here what they're supposed to do or what they're not supposed to do. So, I mean, if you want them to come up here and stand for 20 minutes, as far as they're concerned, that's normal. You know, you get an older horse that's been rushed and, you know, it runs off on and off the track, then you're trying to reprogram him. It's like having a dog that you got as a rescue. You know, it's a project.
What races does Montoya look at through her career?
I mean, I would love to win a big race at Parks just because it's our home turf. Would I love to win the Pennsylvania Derby? Absolutely. So I guess that would, in my opinion, I mean, it would be great to shoot for the stars for Kentucky, but being realistic, you know, I would love to win a stake at Parks.
We asked Montoya if she had any advice for young trainers getting into the sport.
I mean, I would say, you know, start at a farm, you know, if you want, working with horses. I mean, that's what most people do. I had the show horse background also. You know, that helps. I find it really helpful. We get on our own horses that, you know, we can feel things before things happen.
Mariah Montoya has known horses her entire life, and it's why she does this every day.
It doesn't matter if it's a beaten 5 or, you know, a big allowance at, you know, New York. I mean, I still feel the same because, you know, it's not that I'm proud of me. I mean, I'm proud of my team. You know, it takes so much. It's the groom that spends an hour a day working on it, the exercise rider who puts the time into it, And the horse itself, you know, I mean, that horse has to show up that day. I mean, because you know as well as I do, you wake up some days and do you want to go to work? No, you know, so I mean, they have days like that too.
Thanks again to trainer Mariah Montoya, her entire team. Continued success right here at Parks. Great stories, and we'll put that up on the YouTube channel. Look forward to Parks Racing on YouTube, where you can watch all of our great content here all year. Well, I guess for all time now, right? I mean, if it's on YouTube, there you go. Race number 7, 5.5 furlongs is the distance in there, and some familiar names in this field, obviously. The number 7, Jersey Joe B, top choice. It just seems like this horse, if this horse goes back to that last race, slight drop in class from 7,500 down to 5,000. This is the right spot for this horse. So I'm going to go with the number 7, Jersey Joe B. I'm a little chalky this afternoon. Maybe I got to kind of take a look at my picks, and I'm going to get a hard time, obviously, on social media at In the Grandstand at Parks Racing for all the favorites I'm choosing, but we'll see if there's some long shots that we can find here this afternoon. Race number 8, $10,000 level, and we've taken a look at these types of fields before, right? 6 furlongs being the distance. Number 7, T.O. Will. I think you get the value here. You know, some of these horses down to the inside, especially mock trial, is going to take some action. T.O. Will is 9-2 on the morning line, a 5-year-old Ridgeling. If you throw out that last effort, T.O. Will has got early speed in a race where there's just not a ton of it. And this horse could be really well meant in this spot. Hard West is going to be going from the outside. We'll see if mock trial is more forwardly placed. This horse has been stalking just off of it. I think T.O. Will really sits a nice trip in here. I think has a big shot into the new barn, 11% for them first off the claim. So for Phil Aristone, Angel Castillo, it just depends on if Angel Castillo wants to go and send this horse there early. Might settle in behind horses and just stalk off of it, but it's an interesting puzzle to put together there. It's part of some of those late sequences. You get into the Philly Big 5, which will start race 7. That's a carryover jackpot and a big one. You get into the late pick 4. We got all those great pick 4 sequences here at Parks. So plenty of opportunities to cash, and you just got to get outside of a couple of those favorites in order to get that big score here on a Monday afternoon. We're adding another item to the show here on Out of the Gate. We're going to work on the name of what we're going to call this segment, but right now it's called the Performance of the Week. We're probably going to throw it to you, the fans out there, to come up with a great name. I had a few suggestions, but they didn't work out. So we're going to call it Performance of the Week. And this was our Performance of the Week last week right here at Parks. Jordan Bullock now taking over for the recently passed away trainer Donald White. Not a trace. Andy Hernandez aboard, just drawing away, and wins this one impressively. Really happy for those connections. And Jordan Bullock, you see the connections that take the winner's circle photo, and I'm sure a victory that meant a lot. And again, it doesn't matter the level. Every horse, every barn, they all have a story to tell. So congratulations to our Sugar Bear stable, apprentice Andy Hernandez. Jordan Bullock, you were the Performance of the Week. Hey, one more race to take a look at here in race number 10 before we get out of here on Out of the Gate, as another show has just flown right by. Let's take a look at that 10th race. And, you know, obviously with 11 on the card, I'll talk about those other races when we get there. But Put the Glass Down. I'm going to give Put the Glass Down one more shot. I think I've picked this horse at least 4 times here at Parks. Been right sometimes, but you take a look at the type of trip. 5.5 furlongs, a starter race, Street Tail and Severe. I think they're going to be going very fast up front. I mean, these are 2 horses that can go 21, 22 type speed, and I think you're going to see something similar to that. Let's take a look at this quick replay here from Put the Glass Down. I think this horse gets the right trip. Put the Glass Down is going to be super wide in this race. I mean, let's go ahead and roll it. You're going to see how wide Put the Glass Down is. I don't think this horse is going to be this wide. As we get to the top of the stretch, this horse is about six wide, maybe, at the top of the lane. That's Severe in front, but Street Tail should be in front of Severe at this point of the race. We'll see. A lot of familiar rivals in here. Severe is going to open up in this race, but they're all coming up, and they're going to make up some late ground. Put the Glass Down, though, just not making up the same ground on the far outside, but was very wide in the racetrack. So I think this horse gets the right trip. This horse is also won at this distance, and I like Put the Glass Down quite a bit there in race number 10. I'm going to have full card selections throughout the afternoon. We're going to talk to Rich Perloff a little bit later on. And we welcome you, the fans, right here on this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon for live racing from Parks Racing. The main track is rated as good. We'll keep an eye on post parades and whatnot, but I'll be in the booth bringing you all the action I can, the amazing TV crew here. And thanks again to all the connections that allow us to spend time with them and do some interviews. And don't forget, February 7th, Once that YouTube channel is up, Parks Racing, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and you can even give us ideas on the content that you would like to see during our shows. Thanks again for joining us here on Out of the Gate. Good luck on this Monday of live racing here at Parks.